Good morning, world. Cedric, what's wrong, man?
I told you I will film when you let me see your emails from the last 10 years.
You've probably seen all my emails.
I don't think I've seen them all. There's a lot of stuff happening right now. I want to see all the emails from the last 10 years and what you've said about me. You know what? We'll get into it right now. I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian. And this is Cedric and Brian. All right. As you can tell from our opening skit, that was Cedric's idea, by the way.
That's my idea.
We're going to be covering the email gate of Jon Gruden.
Email gate.
And we're going to touch a little bit on the lack of testosterone of Randy Moss.
Yeah. You know what's a damn shame?
There's a lot of damn shame.
That Chucky got fired this close to Halloween.
I know.
That's a damn shame.
I think
How are you going to get fired on his day off?
I think the masks are probably going to come out even more now.
Oh, jeez.
And then we're going to end with Sage Steele, because it's going to be an ESPN day. You know, that great communist company.
Yes. All right, we got to get into it quickly. And as you guys can see, things are going right now. We have all got to be prepared.
Yep, things are getting pretty scary.
Are you prepared? Do you have enough food, water, and other essentials to get you through tough times? If not, check out My Patriot Supply. They're the nation's #1 preparedness company, and they've served millions of American families just like yours. Right now, you can save 25% off their popular 4-week emergency food kit, which will keep you well fed for 4 weeks worth of breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, and snacks, totaling over 2,000 calories a day. This food stays fresh for up to 25 years in proper storage, so it will be there when you need it. In fact, you may need it a lot sooner than that.
So don't wait. Go to www.preparewithcedricandbrian.com. That's www.preparewithcedricandbrian.com. Please support us. You probably noticed a lot more of our videos are not being monetized. And if you do see an ad, it's not going to us, because we get these nice little YouTube notifications that say copyright. You can't get it.
Yeah.
So this is one way to support us. The other way is you can see our hats here. Cedric's got it forward. I've got it my traditional backward style here, because I am a sniper and a catcher.
I think we should start selling these shirts.
That's right. We got to comment on
I
that.
don't know who this fella is, but he's been in a lot of interest lately.
Oh my goodness. Send comments to...
All right, let's get into this.
How are they going to ever let... Remember how we wanted them to share it with maybe their left-leaning friends?
Right.
Right there. They're not going to watch.
Brandon. I like Brandon.
All right, so let's start here. We're going to start with the lies of Stephen A. Smith.
I was of the mindset that Jon Gruden shouldn't be fired, shouldn't be suspended, because it was one email from 2011. And then the next thing you know, this avalanche arrived.
Okay, I'm irritated. First off, Stephen A. Smith. The first thing he says is that at first I wasn't upset about it. And then I started thinking, well, maybe the powers that be at ESPN came to Stephen A. Smith and said, you know, we are the woke channel of the world. You better be upset about it, and you better let the world know you're upset about it, because this is a man right here who, talk about hypocrisy. If you guys remember the Angels pitcher, and I forget his first name, Ohtani, he said that this man should not be the face of Major League Baseball because he's Asian and he's harming the game. And then he's going to go on to say that...
He really said that?
He said it's harming the game. Because, baseball is an American sport, and having him as the face of baseball is going to harm the game. And he's saying,
Can you imagine
ask for forgiveness.
You're a Dodger fan. Who was the famous Dodger pitcher of all time back in the 70s?
Fernando Valenzuela.
I don't believe he was American.
Yes.
Nobody said anything about that.
Yes.
But I guess just like Dave Chappelle and the Jews, you can pick on the Asians.
Right. I got those out there. This is being released on Tuesday, Wednesday. No, wait. When's it been released? Thursday.
Thursday. Today's Wednesday.
Yeah, it is Thursday. Congratulations to my Dodgers advancing past the Giants of San Francisco.
Wow, he's making a prediction again.
But anyway, Stephen A. Smith. I mean, this dude, he will just say whatever gets him a paycheck, and he comes off as such a strong, independent. You hear the term a lot, especially me growing up. Be a strong, independent black man, And all this stuff is just making us weaker and weaker by the moment that we're being offended by a few emails.
And this reminds me of the whole, me, I'm the COVID guy, back to the COVID thing. So his parallel to, I was going to give Gruden a pass because it was just one email and one racist thing, allegedly. But now there's a mountain of evidence, and now we've got to cancel him. It's kind of like, we were going to let people go out, but now that there's a Delta variant,
Yeah, right.
they weren't going to let us go out. They just, the excuses fit with the narrative. So the excuses fit. The higher up said, Steven, you can't let this guy off the hook. We can't do that. He's white, for one. Can't let him off the hook. So that's the reason. It's not because there was more evidence. It was because the higher ups told him.
Yeah. And this always cracks me up because whenever you listen to Stephen A. Smith talk, it's not like he's going to give a eulogy at someone's memorial service because he's just so distraught and so heavy. But this is going to be Stephen A. talking about DeMaurice Smith's lips.
Made racially insensitive comments about DeMaurice Smith, the executive director of the Players Association. And you have a plethora of people in this country that felt that should have been enough. So,
and Cedric said this might have been Jon Gruden just covering for himself. So Jon Gruden said that he refers to people that lie as rubber lips. So this guy was a big liar in Jon Gruden's eyes, so he called him Michelin lips. So, okay.
And maybe he did. Maybe that's what he meant. But I'm thinking, even if he meant to say that DeMaurice Smith had big lips, that's what he said. Yeah. I've lost track of the number of people that I've met for the very first time, and they look at me and they can recoil in horror as they think like, dang, he has some big teeth. I have big teeth. Being a black man, I also know that my nose is broader than most people, and my lips are bigger than most people. But it's so weird now in today's culture when you see a lot of women going around getting lip injections. Look at Angelina Jolie. Look at, Mick Jagger. He was just hitting. Mick Jagger's got some big lips.
Yeah. But if, let's say, I thought we were supposed to give people benefit of the doubt. If Jon Gruden is truthful and that's what his term for liars is, maybe that's all it was. It wasn't racial at all. But of course we know nowadays everything gets turned racial.
Absolutely.
And then Stephen A. Smith switches terms, and I'm going to let you hear his term, and then I'm going to give you the actual quote.
Then we learned that he was against the NFL bringing in a guy like Michael Sam, saying over via emails that the commissioner should not be encouraging then Rams coach Jeff Fisher to draft queers.
Okay, so you notice how he said encouraged, that he said they shouldn't encourage. No, what Gruden said, if we're going to be truthful here,
right.
What the email said is that the commissioner shouldn't pressure then Rams coach into hiring queers. Because in Gruden's mind, and I guess we can't have our opinions, it was nothing specific to that person being gay because obviously he was just coaching a gay player. It was that why are they pressuring, not encouraging, why are they pressuring somebody to hire somebody who didn't even make it in the NFL? He tried it, he hung out on a couple teams, and then he played for the Canadian League. It's because they were trying to, even back then, do this woke agenda, let's say. The Rams, look at the face of open and inclusive football. It's like, you shouldn't pressure it. You shouldn't be against it just for that reason. But I think what Gruden was saying is, don't pressure a team to do it.
Right. If you can play the game at that level, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the end of the story.
And obviously, there's a guy now that plays for the Raiders.
If you can play at that level.
So there's a number of things that they keep saying adds up. And oh, God forbid, Gruden used the P word.
Well,
if you go to a women's march, they use it all the time and they wear it on their heads. But of course,
well, Gruden, and I will say this, because I'm to show we all get along, because Brian and I, you guys make comments about that all the time, that Brian and I get along, we have a great friendship. What's even worse is that I have friends, hold on to your seats, I have friends who are actually Raider fans. And I have friends, I can top that, who are Cowboy fans. Now, I don't think Gruden was doing a great job as a coach. As far as his coaching ability, I thought he was a great, this is going to be ironic, Gruden was a great color commentator when he was on TV. How's that for irony? He did a great job talking about the game, analyzing the game, talking about the game. I don't think coaching was his thing, and so he had to get out of it. But he took a shot at our vice president at the time, who is now our current commander-in-chief, and called him a big Josie and the Cats. I thought he was spot on because that's what he does. He predicts things and they come to be true.
These are any of you who played organized sports, especially football. I played football for 8 years. That kind of language is commonplace, and if you're offended by it, fine, then don't be a part of it. And maybe it's the reason because he also made a comment about the first female referee or something like that. It's, again, if you're offended by this language, then don't be involved in that part of it. But to go back and look at, remember, again, these are private emails. If you heard some of the private conversations we had, and if everybody's going to be canceled because of things you say in private, remember this happened with Trump. What he thought he said in private with Bush, Billy Bush, which he thought was, of course, that comes out, and then of course that's a huge story, because people like to pretend, and especially apparently white males try to pretend that language is never used, which is ridiculous. And it's just, here's a football player, you just look at his face and probably all that language comes out of him, and then we're supposed to act all appalled, and and a guy loses his career over it.
Yeah.
So let's go into, because I know you wanted to play the Randy Moss video of this. So
great wide receiver back in the day in Minnesota, and if you look at Randy Moss's career in the NFL, he had a very turbulent career in Minnesota. Physically, verbally, he said some things to players, assistant coaches that may have been a little rough.
He was a prima donna back then, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he got his feelings hurt back then. So it doesn't surprise me. So let's watch this. This is taken from ESPN.
You be able to play for him?
To speaking of Teddy's point, basically you hear us talk about we got a work to do, we got a job to do, and that's to provide for our families. And Teddy hit it right on the head of just putting your head down and going playing football. I speak about.
To me, that's where it ends right there. You get paid an exorbitant amount of money to go provide for your families. I think most of you watching our show right now can get by on an NFL player's salary. I don't care what's said. Like Brian said, there are a lot of things said in NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, and pro football locker rooms every single day, from white men to black men, from black men to white men, and all across the board. I'm not saying it's right. It's just the way it is. And like we just said, if you can't handle that, then maybe that's not the environment for you.
Guys give each other the business. I'm sure girls do it too. And I read a book. It was an author, and he was an ex-NBA basketball player, white, and he would talk about what they would call him, and they had acronyms for it, like slow white guy or something. Here comes a SWG or something like that.
Right.
And and you don't take offense to it. It's like, all right. Remember, my nickname in high school was JB. That was given to me by my black friend. And for those of you who don't know, JB stood for Jew Boy. That was my acronym, and I didn't cry over it. I ended up putting it on my Letterman's jacket. Yeah. I mean, what did you say before? Your grandma said it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to.
It's not what they call you, it's what you answer to.
So it goes back to that sticks and stones. It's like, so wait till you see the end of this clip.
The game of football, I fell in love with the game of football, Sam, at 6 years old. And I get emotional talking about it because of situations like this. My civil rights were kind of messed with in high school over the color of my skin. And now being able to play 14 years in the National Football League, to have something like this of a leader. We talk about leadership. We give guys these big contracts because they want to be able to lead 70 men, coaches, equipment staff, and managers to the number one goal, and that's to win the championship. And for us to be moving back and not forward in 21st century, like I said, man, National Football League, this hurts me. The clock is ticking, man. I'm sorry.
No.
I can play for you, but I'd rather not. Okay, I'd rather not do it, but if I have to do it, I will.
And here's the thing. If the NFL is going to do this and go back and check all the comments, the emails and text messages from 10 years ago, please don't check mine. Emails, text messages, guys, don't get mad at me in the comment section. And that iPhone, the hidden photo section in your iPhone, Don't check that either. Somebody goes thinking like it's a hidden, and the thing is, it's marked hidden photos. It's just kind of stupid. I don't know why it's marked that way. It's like, oh, these are where the hidden photos are, but they turn a blind eye to when an NFL player beats the crap out of his girlfriend or his wife, and they don't say anything about that. Someone says something about big lips, and all of a sudden the NFL is turned over on its side, and now we're going to check. I think everyone's emails and text messages from the last 10 years should be checked because of this. And back when Brian said sticks and stones should, break your bones and names that never hurt me, these things should bounce off of you. These are football players. The grunting, when it's mic'd up on Sunday and you can hear the hitting and the verbal stuff that's going on, those things should bounce off you like bullets off Superman, which is another thing because Superman...
You mean the bisexual Superman?
Superman's now bisexual, but that's another segment for another day. He's going to be into Lois and Jimmy. I guess they'll be fighting over him.
It's all the soy, man. It's all the soy in the food now.
Oh, my goodness.
We know it's a fact. This is science, folks. Believe the science. Soy raises the estrogen in your body. So I think that's what's happening.
Man, stop going to Starbucks in your boots, your UGG boots, and ordering soy lattes. Goodness. Drink your coffee black.
So at the end of this clip, you can go watch it. He gets the female that's sitting next to him tearing up too, because we're just kind of a cry fest, because this is no different now than The View.
Black man's kryptonite.
This
is a damn shame. It's locker room talk. That's why I don't get it. It's locker room talk. And like we alluded to, and we've had this in our comment section on numerous videos where people say, oh my goodness, I love you and Brian's relationship. I love you and Cedric's friendship. The things that we have said to each other the last 20 years, Brian's wife to this day, who I've known for over 20 years, sometimes she'll just look at us and shake her head and be like, I can't believe you guys say the things you say to each other. But that's what a friendship, a kindred friendship, a brotherhood allows us to do that. And he's made comments about my lips. I've made comments about him. We've made comments to each other. I do not.
I grew up. One of my best friends in high school was Filipino, and he called me Big Nose. And it's like, if I was one of these men, these boys, whatever you want to call them now, I guess I would have filed a grievance and I would have gone and got depressed. But instead, you just deal with it. It's like, okay, yeah, I got a big nose, all right? His lips are a little bit bigger than mine. My wife would say a whole lot because she says I don't have any lips.
Right. Well, the mustache covers them too.
That's right. Like so, but I mean, God, instead of making people tougher, society is making people be offended by everything. And as we talk about this, it's not just racial now. It's like, oh my God, he used the P word. Oh, God forbid. I mean, pretty soon we're not going to have, we can't use the N word, obviously.
No.
That's out, he can use it. And obviously Dave Chappelle can use it every other word. I can't use it. But Gruden can't use the P word. Can't use the Q word when it's in the LBGQ lexicon, but I guess you can't use it. Because we just want to be offended by everything.
Right. And we get confused about whataboutism a lot. But if Jon Gruden's going to lose his job over emails from 10 years ago, how did Hillary Clinton and Hunter Biden get off the hook so easily? And we're talking about Emailgate.
I know. Yeah. Again, remember ESPN and is the NFL Network owned by ESPN?
I don't know.
But I guess all of those mainstream medias, they're on the left. If you're on the left, you get away with it to a certain point because Andrew Cuomo got an Emmy, and then finally it took mountains. He killed a bunch of people, but it took mountains and mountains of evidence and then all of these allegations, and they just couldn't escape the Me Too stuff to finally bring him down. If that was somebody on the other side, it just takes one thing.
Right.
And you're done.
Right.
So, the hypocrisy is there, and we know that it's not an equal playing field. But you know what we don't do? We don't cry about it. We try to fight back.
Right.
We try to point it out. Okay, so this, if you haven't heard it, Sage Steele was on the former quarterback for the Bears. God, what was his name?
Oh.
Anyways, you'll see it on here. So he was on his podcast. It'll come to me in a second.
Not Jim McMahon.
No, not that long.
Okay, not that long ago. Okay.
No. And listen to what she has to say, and then you've probably already seen this, but basically she was canceled.
When you fill out your census, I'm like, well, I don't know when the last time I filled out my census was, but if they make you choose a race, she's like, what are you going to put? I go, well, both. She's like, well, you can't. She goes, well, what about Barack Obama chose black and he's biracial? I'm like, well, congratulations to the president. That's his thing. I go, I think that's fascinating considering his black dad was nowhere to be found, but his white mom and grandma raised him. But hey, you do you. I'm going to do me.
So This isn't what she was canceled for. This is what they want to say she was canceled for. You'll see in a second what she was probably really canceled for. But what a great point, because first he was raised by his mother, then he had an Indonesian, I think, stepdad,
Right.
and then he went and lived in Hawaii with his white grandmother. Yet he picks black on a census. Okay, which is fine. You know,
Like she said, do you?
she just made the point of, you know, I picked both. I was raised by both my parents, and they said, oh, you can't do that, which is wrong. Why can't you do that? So that was the one thing. So what's that MSNBC or CNN reporter, Joy?
Oh, Bayer?
No, not Joy Baird. Joy
Reed?
Joy Reid.
Yeah.
So she goes after her, of course, because Joy Reid has to call out anything that she finds that isn't black enough. So obviously that's number one. I didn't see any offend. Who could that offend? She was making a statement.
Yeah.
Here's why she was canceled.
I think I respect everyone's decision. I really do.
Yeah.
But to mandate it is sick.
So she basically said the vaccine mandates is sick. Now notice her arm. She has a Band-Aid on there. Earlier in this podcast, she mentioned that she got the vaccine because she wanted to keep her job, which is going to be ironic if she ends up losing her job, because she did not want the vaccine. Okay? Look at her. She is a fit, healthy, young person. She has next to zero chance of even going to the hospital from this thing. And here's the irony. She got the vaccine to keep her job. She comes out and talks about getting the vaccine. Then she gets put on leave. And guess what the reason for putting her on leave is?
What is it?
She ended up getting COVID. So she had to quarantine. She got the vaccine. What are we doing, people? What are we doing? Their whole dominoes is falling because they're trying to be woke,
Right.
getting rid of her, and it's like, you got to get the vaccine to save other people. Then she gets the virus.
Yeah. We're not going to play it now, but go back and look at another Stephen A. Smith topic about Kyrie Irving, the point guard from the New Jersey Nets, who made the decision not to get the vaccine. So now he's not going to be able to play in any games. And Stephen A. Smith said, well, they should get rid of him. A lot of people are coming out against athletes who are choosing not to get the vaccine. But my thing is, if you're like one of 9 players on the basketball court who doesn't have the vaccine, the other 9 are protected.
Yeah, according to them.
What's the big deal?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's what is this whole narrative? If the vaccine works, then why in the F do you care if somebody unvaccinated is next to you? So there's two things going on. Either one, the vaccine doesn't work, so then why take it? Right?
If it does work, why are you worried that I don't take it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to wrap this up. Anyway,
yeah. We're fired up, man. Fired up.
It's a damn shame.
Damn shame.
Oh my goodness.
Read the comment.
Oh, that's right. Goodness. Hope I can. My lips are too big. I don't know if I can get the words out. Let's see here. We had a comment here. Okay, let's read this one from Love Jesus. I think this was from one of our. We did America. That was a Tom McDonald's song. So this is from a person called Love Jesus. She said, "Love this reaction, black and white, and don't see color. God made one human race. He didn't see color. Love it. And thank you for your support for Tom McDonald and his Hog Army. Support you always. Love having you guys in our family. Hashtag Hog for Life." For those of you who aren't Tom McDonald fans, we do a lot of reviews of his songs.
Hangover Gang.
And that's the whole thing. The whole racial divide is still going strong. When Biden came in office, he made several promises. He said that he would defeat COVID. He said he would unify us. A lot of things are just going south right now, and a lot of that is up to us.
Go look at our Unity episode. We did an episode where we just highlighted, and we prognosticated this.
Yes.
So we did a whole thing where we just highlighted how many times he said unity, and we shook our heads and said, "This guy's not going to unify."
But yeah, let's go, Brandon. You're doing a great job.
Remember, people, freedom isn't free. So I'm getting pissed off at people. I'm sorry. This girl,
Sage
Steele. I mean, I like that she stood up for it, but what I don't like is, and we said this before, if you don't want to get the vaccine, don't get it. Right. If you're getting it, just because I understand if she's probably getting paid a nice 6-figure salary.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make that decision for you. But I know a person, you might be watching this because I need to watch this. She just got over COVID, so she already has the antibodies, but she wants to go to the CMA Awards in Tennessee. She went and got the vaccine. She was a fighter. These are the people that if you give in, then who's left to fight for them? Because they keep getting in their way, then they're just going to mandate it for everyone.
Right.
You know what? Again, get it if you want it, but don't get it because somebody forces you to, because then what's the next thing they're going to force you to do?
All right. Let's wrap this up.
All right.
Okay, make sure you guys like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ring that bell, and share our channel with everyone you know. And like I said in the last video, whether you're vaccinated, whether you're not, whether you have thin lips or you have big lips, whether you're white or black, continue being good to each other. Until next time, I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian. See you later.